Hi everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. So, this is our third day of learning Python. So, we have seen OOPS concepts and many other things in the previous classes. So, in this class, let us see what are the different types of data types in Python, and along with all these concepts, that is variables and identifiers, keywords, and operations on different data types. And we will also be seeing typecasting in Python. So let us see what are the things which you need to learn, and these are the course outcomes. So understanding the concepts of OOP and many other things which we will be looking at in the further course. So let us see what is a data type in Python. Data types are the classification or categorization of data items. Okay, so data type is nothing but if you want to store any value, or it can be anything. It can be a number, it can be a string, and string is nothing but a selection of characters. Okay, so we will be seeing all those things now. So for example, if you want to store a number and we need to specify a particular data type, so number is nothing but numeric, right? So numeric will be integer, float, and complex number. Either three of them can be a numeric, right? So integer is nothing but without a decimal part, but it can be either negative or positive. And next, float is nothing but it can have decimal part too. So we'll be seeing all these things in Visual Studio Code. So I'm just giving a brief of the all the data types. So numeric can be of three types: integer, complex, or float. And next one is boolean. Boolean is nothing but true or false. So if we use boolean data type, we will be either getting true or we'll be getting false. Okay, so next one is set. Set is nothing but collection of unique objects. That is nothing but it can be anything: collection of unique numbers, collection of unique strings, and etc. Okay, so next one is sequence type. Sequence type is nothing but collection of many things. So it can be string. String is nothing but collection of characters. Okay, so next one is list. List is also a collection of different data types. So it can be a homogeneous or it can be a heterogeneous collection. Okay, so for example, if we group an integer, a float, and a string inside a square bracket, so it will be a list. Okay, so we can also create the homogeneous list, that is nothing but all the collection of all the integers. So it can be a list. And list and tuple is also same. So there is a difference between list and tuple. We will be seeing that one. List is nothing but list is mutable and tuple is immutable. So we will be seeing what is mutable and immutable while explaining Visual Studio Code. So let us see numeric. Numeric data type represent the data which has a numeric value, right? So numeric value can be an integer, a floating number, or even a complex numbers. Integer is nothing but without a point value, that is nothing but without the decimal part. So examples of numeric integer are 5, 6, -3, -2, even 0, right? So it is an integer. So, and for example, we are having a number 5.66. So in that case, since it is having a decimal part, we will be using float data type. Okay, so float is for storing a number which has a decimal part. Okay, for example, if we store 5 in float, it will be stored as 5.00. Okay, so next, even complex numbers can be stored. So these values are defined as int, float, and complex class in Python. Okay, so next one is integers. We have seen what is integer, and it contains positive or negative whole numbers without fraction or decimal. Okay, so next one is float. Float is represented by float class. It is a real number with a floating point representation. Okay, it is specified by a decimal point. Optionally, the character e or e followed by a positive or a negative integer may be appended to specify scientific notation. Okay, so it is nothing but it will have a number and it will also have the decimal part. And complex number you might have studied in your schools or your higher schools. Complex number is nothing but the real part and imaginary part of a number. Okay, for example, it can be -2 plus 3j. J is nothing but imaginary part. Okay, so that is complex number. And let us now see sequence type. So in Python, sequence is the ordered collection of similar or different data types. So we have seen three different types here: integer, float, and complex number, right? So now let us see. Sequences allows to store multiple values in an organized and efficient fashion. So for example, if we group an integer and float, so and if you put them under the square bracket, so it will become a list. And it is a example of sequence type, right? Because it is having one or more. So let us see what is a string now. Strings in Python are surrounded by either single quotation marks or double quotation marks or even triple quotation marks. Okay, string is nothing but we can write anything under the single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes. So it will be stored under the string. Okay, string is used for names and etc. We'll be seeing all these things in Visual Studio Code in few minutes. So next one is a list. I have told you what is a list, and I have also given you an example collection of different data types in a same part is known as list, and tuple is also the same, and there is a difference between list and tuple, so we'll be discussing that one or two. Okay, so next one is Boolean data type. Boolean data type is nothing but which represents one of the values that is either true or either false. Okay, so for example, if we take 1 double equal to 1, so it is 1 here, neglect the 0. So if 1 double equal to 1, it is true, right? 1 is equal to 1, so it will print true. And for example, if we run this one, 2 is less than 1, is it right? No, it is not right, right? So it will give false. Boolean is nothing but it will either give true or it will either give false. So now next one is set. Set is an unordered collection of unique items. Set is defined by values separated by comma inside braces. Okay, so we'll be seeing how to define all these things. And next one is dictionary. Dictionary is an unordered collection of key value pairs. So dictionary contains the two parts, that is nothing but key, and another part is value. Okay, so we'll be seeing what is a dictionary as well. So now let us go to Visual Studio Code. Let me open this one. So once you open Visual Studio Code, you will be getting like this. So let us open a new file, that is Ctrl+N, and let us save as, and let us go to Python course, and let us write a file name different underscore data types dot py, and after writing the name, just save it. So Python file is ready. So now let us do. So let us start with the numeric ones. Numeric contains integer, complex number, and float. Okay, so now let us see what is integer and float. So for example, let us take x. X is a variable. Okay, so let us take x equal to 5. And if you want to print that x, what you will do, I have told you in the previous classes, if you want to print anything, if you want to display anything on the output window, just write print here. Print, and you can write x, and just save this one. To save this one, you just need to press Ctrl+S, Control and S, and after that one, just go here top right and just press the run button. So it is being run now. So let us wait till the program executes. There you go. We got the output 5, right? So let us see what is the type of this x. Okay, so we have seen that one. Now let us remove this one and let us print. So there is an inbuilt function in Python, that is type, and if inside that one we need to pass the variable or we need to pass a number. So let us pass x here. So it will print which type of data type is x. Okay, so now if we run this one, we got the answer, class int, right? So since the 5 is not having any kind of decimal part and it is just a number, it is being printed as int class. Okay, so now even if I change the sign, it doesn't matter, still we got the same class int. Okay, so this is how you can do you can check the data type of the given variable. So let us write, now let us go with float 5.22, class float. Why it is being printed as float? Because we are having a decimal part here, and decimal parts can only be stored in float. Okay, so even 5.00 is also float. Why it is float? Because we are writing the decimal part, right? So it is must, it will show float only. Okay, so now let us see complex. So before that one, let us try to print both of them. and let us take y equal to 5, and let us take different data types for all the things, and let us print, instead of printing directly, and let us write inside the quotation marks, we need to write x is of data type, and just put this one and just put comma here and write the same thing, type of, what is the type, we need to pass x, right? So we have seen this one, and let us print the type of y as well, double marks, y is of data type, and just put a colon here and comma and just put type, and let us write y. So just save this one and run it. So we got the here x is of data type int, y is of data type float. Okay, so we'll be seeing the complex form of the numeric while teaching the functions. Okay, so because while teaching the functions we will be seeing import statement, so we're using cmath module in order to use the complex numbers. Okay, so we'll see that later. So we have seen the two data type, that is int and float, and now let us go to let us check Boolean now. Boolean is nothing but true or false, I said, right? So we have seen this one. So now let us write print 1 double equal to 1. So let me comment this one. Comment is nothing but just put a hash here. So those statements will not be executed. Okay. So now the only statements will be executed are x equal to 5, y equal to 5.00, and this print statement. Okay. So now what I'm doing here is 1 double equal to 1. What is double equal to? Double equal to will check whether the left expression is equal to right expression. So what is the left expression? That is 1. What is the right expression? That is also 1, right? So 1 is equal to 1. Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. So let me tell you the difference between single equal to and double equal to. Single equal to is used for assigning a value. So we are assigning 5 to x. Here we are not assigning the value. Here we are checking. For checking purposes, we will be using double equal to. So here we are checking whether 1 is equal to 1 or not. It is true, right? So just save it and run it. We got the answer, true. Got it? So this is nothing but Boolean data type, and let us also see the false case. 1 double equal to 0. Is 1 equal to 0? It is not, right? So let us just save and let's run it. We got true and we got false as well. Okay, so for this statement we will be getting true, and we will be getting false for this one. So this is Boolean data type. So next one is, let us go for sequence type, and we will be seeing set and dictionary at the last. Okay, so now let us see sequence type, and in the sequence type let us see strings first. So what is it? So let me comment each and every line, so you can understand easily. This is int, this is float, these both are Boolean, right? 5th and 6th line. So I'll just write. So now what we were seeing, the strings, right? Let us write Boolean, and now let us see strings. So let us say, what is a string? String is nothing but collection of characters, and which is written inside a single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. So let me show you how to declare a string. So for example, let us take a string s. S is nothing but a name. Okay, so we are just giving a name to identify the given string. So s equal to, what you do is just take two quotes, single quotes. It can be either double quotes, or it can also be triple quotes. Okay, so it doesn't matter in Python. So I will be using single quotes. So let us take s equal to, let us take the name Ram. Okay, so X is for numbers, Y is also for numbers, that is int and float. We have seen true or false cases for Boolean. Now we can use string to store characters. Okay, characters is nothing but it can be either alphabets, and it can also be a number. Okay, so now let us print this one, print s, and let's also print type of s. Type, what will type will return? Type will give the which type of data type is s. Okay, so let us write. So true false is nothing but these two lines. Okay, so we have taken s equal to ram here, and after that we are printing s. Okay, so s is being printed on the output window, ram, and after that one we are printing type of s. What is type? Type will return the what is the data type of s. So what is the data type of s? So since it is under apostrophes, or that is single quotes, it will return str. Str is nothing but string. Okay, so we have seen strings, and let us also take one more example. Let us take s1. S1 equal to, let us take 123. So you guys will be confused now. 123 is a number. Why we are storing in a string? So string can be anything. We can store anything in string. We can store numbers, we can store characters, and we can store even true or false keywords as well. It doesn't matter because we are writing inside a single quote, right? So it doesn't matter what you write inside. Everything can be a string. So let us write. Let me confirm you that one. Print type of s1. Now let us run this one. We got the same thing, right? Class is here. So anything you write under a single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes, it will be a string. So we have seen what is int, what is a float, and we have seen the Boolean data types, and we have seen string data type. Okay, so let us go back to PPT, and now let us see list and tuple. So this is, we have seen a string now. Now let us see list. What is a list? List is nothing but collection of uh, different data types, or it can be of same data types. So how you define list is just take a variable, nothing but a name for the object to identify. Let us take l equal to, just open square brackets, and you can write now. So let me take a number first, 1 2. I have taken a 12 number, and let me also take a string. So let us write a name, and finally let us take a floating number. Floating point number is nothing but it will be having a point, right? So we have seen already float here. So let us take 6.18. So this is nothing but a list. Okay, so now let us try to print a list. Print l, and we'll also print the type of l. Type of l. So let me comment all these print statements because we have already seen these things. So only these two print statements will be executed now. So let us run this one. So we got a list here. Okay, so list is containing an integer and string, and also a floating number. And we are printing the type of list. What is this? A collection of objects under square brackets. That is nothing but a list, right? So we got the list. So we'll also be seeing how to access all the things inside a list, or access the things in strings. And before going to that one, let me also explain what is a tuple. So we have seen list, tuple. Tuple is nothing but, let us take t. Just open normal brackets, and you can write the same thing. Let us just copy. It is also the same thing, but there is a difference. So I will be showing you the difference now. Print t, print type of t. So we got a tuple printed here, and we also got the type, that is nothing but tuple. Okay, so now let us see how to access things in string. First, let us try to see the string modifications. Okay, so before going to that one, we are also left with dictionary and set, right? So now let us see the next data type, that is set. So set is nothing but collection of unique data types. It can be anything. So for example, let me take an integer data set. So for defining a set, we need to define first we need to write a name. That is, I have taken a name as set1 and open the flower braces, and inside the flower braces we can write the numbers. For example, let me take 4 numbers, 1 2 3 4, and after that let us try to print it. Print set1, and let us also print the type. Type is nothing but it will return the data type of the given variable. That is nothing but the name of the thing, that is set1. So if we run, save and run this one, so the set is being printed and we are getting the type of the set1, that is nothing but set. Okay, so the one thing which we need to observe here is, once if we write either 1 2 3 4, and if we write it once again, it won't be shown in the output. Why it won't show in the output? Because set is a collection of unique things. Okay, so even if you repeat the same thing inside a set, it won't be printed on the output. So let me show you that one. If we write 2 here and let me save and run this one, so we are not getting two twos here. Why we are not getting? Because it is repeated. Repetition is not allowed in sets, and repetition is allowed in lists. So if we write here, let me write 6.18 once again, and let us try to print this tuple. Print t. Now if we run this one, we're getting 6.18 two times, because the repetition is allowed in list and repetition is allowed in tuple, but it is not allowed in sets. So we have seen set data type. Now let us see the last twin, that is dictionary. So to define a dictionary, we need to write a name. So let me take dict1, that is dictionary1, and open flower braces. And as I said, dictionary contains two parts, that is key and another one is value. So how we can write that one is, let me take an example x, and we need to put colon in between, and after that we need to put a value. Here the left side thing is key and right side thing is value. Okay, so this is how you define a dictionary. And we can also write many things, not only one. Let me write one more thing, just random things. And if you write here w, and it should be separated with comma. Okay, so now let us try to print it. Print dictionary1, and let us also print type of dictionary1. Since we have seen all these things, let us comment out this print statements of set and tuple. Now once we run it, we are getting the output, that is x and y, and here in this q and w, and the data type which the dict1 belongs to is dictionary. Okay, so we have seen all the data types, and we'll also see the operations of all these data types in the coming lectures as well. And as of now, let us see what is a variable in Python. So a variable is nothing but the name which we give to the particular data type in which we store. Okay, so for example, if we take here x, and 5 is an integer, right? And we are assigning x equal to 5. Here x is nothing but a variable. Okay, so Python is not a statistically type. We need not to declare variables before using them or declare their type. Okay, so we need not to, for example, in C language and Java, we need to write the data type in front of the variable name in order to assign a value. But in Python, it is no need. The interpreter, the Python automatically gives the data type based on the correct thing. For example, if we have a decimal part, it will automatically assign the value as float, and if it doesn't have a decimal part, it will give as int. So there are some rules for creating variables in Python. A variable name must start with a letter or underscore character, and the second rule is a variable name cannot start with a number, and a variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters, that is nothing but only A to Z, 0 to 9, and only one special character is allowed, that is nothing but only underscore. Okay, so these are the rules which are to be followed in variables. Okay, so the next one is reserved keywords. So there are 33 keywords in Python, and we cannot use the keywords to name the variable. Okay, so these are the rules which we need to follow in order to give a valid name. So the next one is global and local variables. And local variables are the ones that are defined and declared inside a function. Okay, so you guys don't know what is a function. I know you guys are getting confused. So you need to focus morely on local variables and global variables as of now, because I will be discussing these local variables and global variables when I discuss the functions. Okay, so need not to worry about this one. And once we go to the next slide, keywords. So here I have shown you a point. The reserved words, that is nothing but keywords, cannot be used for naming the variables. Okay, so there are 33 keywords, that is false, none, true, and, as, and many other things. These are reserved keywords which cannot be used anywhere else, and they can be used only for their purposes. Okay, so you cannot write just, you cannot go here and write true equal to Ram. It is not defined. That is not right. Okay, so that's why we need to follow certain rules in order to create a valid variable name. Okay, so next thing is, so here are some examples of valid and invalid identifiers. So here it is an valid identifier. Why it is valid? Because it has started with a character and it is having a number, and it is valid. Why it is valid? Because numbers are allowed after a single character is defined. Okay, so we are having a v here, so we can write number var1, and underscore is also allowed. So underscore var1 is valid, and these two are also valid. So let us see now invalid identifiers. Here apostrophe is there. Apostrophe is not allowed, right? Only underscore is allowed for a valid identifier. And here it started with number, so it is not allowed. Here same case in the third, and in the fourth we are having hash symbol. Here hash symbol is not allowed, only underscore is allowed. So that's why these four are invalid identifiers. So now let us see what is typecasting. Typecasting is a method to convert the variable data type into a certain data type in order to the operation required to perform by users. So this is nothing but changing the data type into another data type. Okay, so for example, if you are having 5.66, Python automatically gives floating data type to the number, right? Because it is having decimal part. So for example, if you want to fetch the integer part of the 5.66, the answer will be 5, right? So this is typecasting. If you want to convert one data type into another data type, it is known as typecasting. So typecasting is of two types, that is implicit typecasting and explicit typecasting. Okay, so implicit is nothing but Python does this automatically. So we'll be seeing the example of both implicit and explicit. Explicit is done by user, and implicit is done by Python itself. So let us see the program so that you can understand clearly. So let me create a new file, and let us save this as type underscore casting1.py. And once we have saved this one, now what we're going to do is, so let us take an example. X equal to, x is variable here, right? Variable name, x equal to 5.21, let us take. And let us, just for confirmation, I'm showing you guys, it is a floating data type. It is float. We got it right. So for example, if you want to fetch the integer part of x, what we're going to do is, let me just remove the print statement 5.21. Just write, let us take another variable, y equal to int of x. So this is typecasting. Okay, so typecasting is nothing but in y we are storing the integer part of x. What is x here? 5.21. And what is the integer part? Integer part is nothing but remove the decimals and write the remaining part. What is it? 5. So let us try to print y now. Let me run this one. 5. I hope you guys got it. What is typecasting? And typecasting is valid for certain data types only. For example, if you want to change integer into a if you want to change a string into a number, it cannot happen. So let me show you that. So let us take s, and let us take 1 2 3 4 5. Let us take some name. Let us take a s equal to ln. So for example, if you want to change the given string into an integer, it will throw an error. Y equal to int of s, and let us try to print Why now? If we run this one, we are getting an error. Invalid literal for int with base 10 lion. Okay, so there is nothing from the characters you can fetch a number, right? We cannot fetch a number from characters, so it is not valid. So it is valid for only certain data types, and you can change the integer into string. Let me show you the difference. S equal to 5. What is that? S equal to 5, it is nothing but integer, right? Now if you want to change the integer into string, just similarly, just take one variable and write str and write pass s here. And what you're gonna do, just print y. We got the same thing 5, but it is a string. How can you confirm it is a string? Just go and write another print statement, type y, and run the program, class str. Got it? So this is how typecasting works. So we have seen explicit typecasting. Now let us see implicit typecasting. So let us take two numbers, number 1 equal to 10 and number 2 equal to 15.5, let us say. So next thing what we're gonna do is, let us take sum of numbers equal to, let us try to add the both numbers, number 1 plus number 2, and now let us try to print the result, sum of numbers. Now if we run this one, 25.5. Here sum of numbers, we did not specify any data type for this one, right? So automatically it is showing float. Why it is showing float? Because the number 1 is an integer and number 2 is a float. Automatically we are having a decimal part. If we add both these numbers, we will be getting a decimal part. So automatically Python identifies this one and assigns floating data type to the this variable. So this is nothing but implicit. In implicit we need not to do anything. Python will take care automatically. So this is typecasting, and we'll be seeing the operations on different data types in the coming lectures. Thank you.